Hey guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm going to tell you the worst thing that you could possibly do. This most likely doesn't apply to everyone, but it applies to me. The worst thing you could ever do is ruin the end of a book. It's like, I suppose thievery and murder are bad too, but like, ruining the end of a book is definitely up there. And let me tell you why. If you ruin the end of a TV show, like, most episodes are half an hour to an hour long. So in half an hour to an hour, I would have figured out the end anyways. If you ruin the end of a movie, most movies are 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours long. So I would have figured out the ending in a reasonable amount of time. But a book takes hours, and like, I've never calculated how long it takes me to read a book, because like, you read some now and you read some tomorrow and so on. But if I were to take a wild guess, it would be 10 to 12 hours to read a book. I don't know if that's long or short or what, but if I were to guess, that's approximately how long it takes me to read a book. So for for me to be like halfway through and then you to tell me the ending, I can't even. Like, I want to give you two examples of when this happened to me. So when I was in the 8th grade, I checked out this book, and it was part of a trilogy. So I read the first book in one day. So let's say this day was a Monday. So on Monday, I read the first book. So on Tuesday, I went to my school's library to check out books 2 and 3, because I assumed I'd read book 2 on Tuesday and book 3 on Wednesday. And so when I went to my school's library after school, one of my friends was there, and she saw me checking out the 2 books, and she was like,
"Oh my gosh, I read that trilogy."
and I'm like, "Is it good?" She's like,
"Yes, it is. Can I tell you the ending?"
I'm like, "No, I'm about to read it." She's like,
"Oh, but it's so good. Like, I just have to tell you."
I'm like, "No, I'm literally about to read it." And she's like,
"But it's so unexpected. Like, I just have to tell you."
and I was like, "But I'm gonna read it." And then I was like, "Just don't tell me." And she's like, "Oh."
"Okay,
And then she like turned like she was about to leave, and she's like,
but this is how it ends."
and I was like, I was so mad. Like, not only did she ruin the ending of a book, but she ruined the ending of an entire series. So I read book 1, and now I already know the ending of book 3. And I couldn't even. And I didn't talk to her for like the longest period of time. Like, not like,
"Oh, I didn't talk to her for like 2 whole weeks." Like,
no, it was probably closer to a year. And was that an over exaggeration? Probably. But then again, I was 14 years old, and I don't know, but it really upset me a lot. The second time that I can remember this happening to me this was like December 31st of 2014 / January 1st of 2015. And every December 31st, I go to watch night service at my church. And my dad is the pastor of my church, so even after the service is over, he always takes like forever, because he has to like speak to each person individually. Why? I don't know, but he does it. So I knew that I wasn't gonna be leaving until like 1 a.m. So I brought a book with me to read in between 12 a.m. when service finishes and 1 a.m. when I would be leaving. So the book that I brought with me was Allegiant, which, if you don't know, is the 3rd book in the Divergent trilogy. And so service was over, my dad was talking to people, and I took out my book to read. And so I was just reading, like, this is my book. I was reading my book. And this is some background information. So I read Divergent in 2 days, and I read Insurgent in 3 days, and I had Allegiant for like 3 weeks. Like, I was purposely reading it slow because I loved it so much, and I just wanted to savor it, and I wanted it to last for as long as possible, because it's really difficult for me to find genres of books that I like. And so when I do, I like to make it last as long as possible. And so I purposely took forever to read this book. Like, this would literally be me. I'd read one sentence, and I'd be like, did I even understand that sentence? better read it again. And then I'd read it again, just because I wanted to take forever to finish it so that I could enjoy it longer. And so this was my third week on the book. And so I'm reading it. And keep in mind, this book is literally in my hands. It's literally open and I'm reading it. It's not off to the side so you don't know how far I've gotten. Like, no, I'm literally reading it. So this person knew that I wasn't finished reading this book because I was physically reading it in front of their face. And then so this 12-year-old girl comes out of nowhere, and then she's like standing in front of me, so like on this side of me. And so she was looking at the book upside down because she was facing the opposite way as me. So I'm just like, okay, reading my book. And then she was just standing there for like 5 minutes and she was still looking at it upside down, and I'm like, what? You can read books upside down? That's like so cool. Skills. But I was just reading. And then I'm not gonna tell you how it ends because maybe you're still reading the third book, or maybe you're waiting for the movie to come out because I'm pretty sure it's coming out this week. So I'm not gonna tell you the end because I'm not a bad person. But she pointed at the main character's name and she was like,
this is how it ends.
And I was like, and I was so mad. And I checked my phone and it was literally 12:08 a.m. I'm like, it's 8 minutes into the new year and it's already ruined. And we were in church. So it's like, what can I actually do? What can I actually say? It's like, I can't do anything. So I just like stormed off and like dashed the book or whatever, and then just sat in like a group with my brothers and my cousins and some other kids from my church. And then my godmother came up to me, and apparently that girl is like her step niece-in-law or something. Like, I don't even know if they were related. I don't know how closely related they were, but she had brought her to the church. And then so she takes me aside and she's like,
oh, she's new to the area. She doesn't really know anybody. She doesn't have any friends.
I'm like, I wonder why. Maybe because she's a bookend ruiner. Yep, that's the best insult I could come up with. But you know what I mean. And so that was so aggravating. And then that night I went home and I literally just like stayed up and read it. I finished it in like an hour or two because I just wanted to finish it because I just couldn't. And so that's why that I think that ruining the ends of books is like terrible. Like, in the future, if I ever run for Prime Minister of Canada, don't vote for me because I will make ruining the ends of books illegal. Like, oh my gosh, you ruined the ending of a book for someone? 25 to life. Oh wait, you have to go on trial first. But after that, if found guilty, 25 to life. Like, I'm not into politics, I don't understand politics, but maybe in the future, I might just be like, you know what's fun? Politics. Let's go into that. You know what would be better? Being prime minister. Let me run. If that ever happens in like 2049 when I'm 50, if that ever happens, don't vote for me because every bookend ruiner will be in jail. Anyways, I hope you liked this completely overdramatic video. No, I don't think that it's some like serious offense. It's just something that is like one of my biggest pet peeves, and I just felt the need to express that. So if you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there, and I'll see you next week with another video.